Before watching the video, don't forget to subscribe the channel and enable bell notification to never miss an update from us.
Hello everyone and morning. This is Ashima, and in this video we'll be talking about everyday current affairs. The discussion is going to involve all the major news events of the past day, and we'll be talking about all the major developments in a more detail, or you can say a point precision point, where you will be able to gain all the important points which are associated with news events. For all of those who want to practice questions also, so for them we have everyday free live quiz, and this quiz happens every day on Entri app. A short quiz, not a long elaborate one. It's a 15-minute quiz to help you keep in touch with the news events and in the question forms of the news events. So don't forget to follow up on that. Now we'll be starting with the discussion of our news events. The first news event we're going to talk about is Swamitwa scheme. Now, what has happened related to Swamitwa scheme? First of all, before we go ahead with the development, what does Swamitwa stand for? Swamitwa means a survey of villages and mapping with improvised technology in village areas. This is the full form of Swamitwa, which has been launched under Ministry of Panchayati Raj. It is Ministry of Rural Development and Panchayati Raj which have which are governing the implementation of this scheme. Now, in this scheme, recently e-property cards were distributed on National Panchayati Raj Day, and this was done by the Prime Minister of India. About 4.09 lakh property owners were given e-property cards, and the scheme was launched with the idea that there should be a general surveying and mapping of all the village property, and all the inhabited land in rural areas that should be demarcated, and the disputes over property should be resolved in as less time as possible, right? Now, it was launched on 24th of April 2020 as a central sector scheme and was launched for 6 states, that being Maharashtra, Karnataka, Haryana, UP, Uttarakhand and MP. Now, recent development apart from the distribution of e-property cards is that these this whole implementation, which was on 6 villages, 6 states, is going to be implemented all over India now. So now all this implementation is going to take place all over India, and it is going to be extended to every state of the country. Now, 2021 IBA Youth World Boxing Championship was held recently. It was concluded recently. It was held in Kilis in Poland. Now here, India has topped the medal tally with 11 medals. Now here, one thing that needs to be clarified is that this is not the one which was a wrestling one. There was a wrestling tournament which was held in Kazakhstan recently, and in that India's medal tally was at 14 medals, and we had completed at a place of third, with the top position being a tie between India and Iran and Kazakhstan. So first rank was Iran and Kazakhstan, third rank was India. In this, or in the boxing tournament, India has completed at 11 medals with top position in the medal state, right? Then we have S&P Projects India. It has expected a GDP growth rate of India, or GDP forecast of India, at 11% for the financial year 22, financial year 2021-22. Right. Now, recently, since there have been a lot of developments on, you can say there have been a lots of developments on COVID situation, because of which we have seen there is a bit of upscale and downscale of various forecasts of GDP. Now, in this, by S&P, sovereign rating was at triple B negative with a stable outlook. So S&P had said that there is a triple B negative with a stable outlook. Right. Whereas on the same lines, Fitch Ratings had said that India is on triple B negative with a negative outlook. So there's a difference between S&P and Fitch Ratings. S&P says stable outlook, Fitch Ratings says negative outlook. What was the expected GDP growth rate as per Fitch Ratings for financial year 22? For financial year 22, Fitch Ratings states India's growth at 12.8%, whereas for financial year 21, it was 7.5%. For 23, it was 5.8%. Then Arjun Kalyan, who is of Tamil Nadu or Chennai, he has become 68th Grand Master of India recently. Right? So India currently has 68 Grand Masters, out of which 68th one is Arjun Kalyan of Tamil Nadu. Puma has taken Washington Sundar and Devdutt Padikkal, both of them as brand ambassadors. These are not the only brand ambassadors, because there are other like KL Rahul, Virat Kohli, and even women cricketers like Sushma Verma and women's national cricketer Sushma Verma, Virat Singh. There have been a lot of cricketers which are associated with Puma. Puma is of which country? So it is a German sportswear company and is also the sports or uh, products brand ambassador of RCB currently, right, in IPL. Then World Book and Copyright Day, which can also be called as World Book Day or International Day of Book. This is observed on 23rd of April and it is observed by UNESCO. Recently, it was observed and the theme for 2021 was to share a story. Every year, whenever World Book Day is observed, there is a book capital which is announced. So for 2021, World Book capital is Tbilisi in Georgia. Right. So here it is important: World Book capital, theme, date, who organizes this day. Right. And it is observed on 23rd of April because there's a lot of authors who had died and a lot of authors who had taken birth on 23rd of April, including William Shakespeare. Right. Then we have International Girls in ICT Day 2021. This was observed on 22nd of April and this year the theme was Connected Girls Creating Brighter Futures. So this was the day which was observed recently. Who had observed this day? It was by International Telecommunication Union, ITU. Member states of ITU, which are 193 countries, all of them had observed it. Right. Whereas the headquarter of ITU, it is currently in Geneva in Switzerland. ITU headquarter is in Geneva in Switzerland. Right. Then we have Malaria Day. Now, Malaria Day was observed on 25th of April, and this year the theme was reaching the zero malaria target. This day is observed by World Health Organization. A World Health Organization observes this day. Now, if we talk about the days observed by World Health Organization in terms of global public health campaign, there are a total of 8 days which are observed by World Health Organization. Which are those 8 days? One is Malaria Day, we've already seen. Then we have a Health Day, Blood Donor Day, Immunization Week, Tuberculosis Day, No Tobacco Day, Hepatitis Day, and AIDS Day. These are the 8 days which are observed by World Health Organization. Right? Alright. Now, next is UN English Language Day and UN Spanish Language Day. Now, there are, as per United Nations, there are 6 official languages of United Nations. Out of them, 2 being English and Spanish. Both of them are observed on 23rd of April. Why English Language Day on 23rd of April? Because of birth and death anniversary of William Shakespeare, who is considered as a very prominent writer in English language. Whereas for Spanish language on 23rd of April, it's Hispanic Day in Spain. Hispanic Day is the Spanish language in the world, and for that it is observed on 23rd of April. Right. Now, the 6 languages of United Nations, they are very important. Why? Because for all of these 6 languages, United Nations observes a day. Right. So the 6 languages being English and Spanish, we have already seen. Then we have Chinese, Arabic, French, and Russian. These are the 6 languages which are observed, and for all of these 6 languages, we have 6 separate days for them. Then we have International Day for Multilateralism and Diplomacy, which is observed on 24th of April. And on same day, National Panchayati Raj Day is also observed, which is observed by Ministry of Panchayati Raj. Right. Now, this was announced in 2010 by the then Prime Minister of India, Manmohan Singh. Now, why is it observed on 24th of April, or what is the significance of this date? The reason is that on this date in 1993, the 1992 73rd Amendment Act had come into force, which brought into picture the Panchayati Raj system or local self-governance system. So for celebration of that, or for marking that day on 2010, it was announced that Panchayati Raj Day is going to be observed on 24th of April. Then we have World Day for Laboratory Animals, which is observed on 24th of April. And if we talk about the week, for the same time, a week is also observed for animals in laboratory, or Lab Animals Week, which is from 20 to 26th of April. So week is observed from 20 to 26 April. Day is observed on 24th of April. And National Anti-Vivisection Society is the one which observes this date. Then RBI has appointed or approved the appointment of Atanu Chakrabarti. Atanu Chakrabarti has been appointed as part-time chairman of HDFC Bank, right? So this is an appointment for a duration of 3 years. He has been appointed as a temporary, as an independent charge director also, as well as part-time chairman of HDFC Bank. Then we have climate change activist and author Akash Ranison. He has recently launched his ebook, Climate Change Explained for One and All, which talks about basic or general terminology associated with climate change and explaining that to everyone. Right. So this was launched on 22nd of April. Why 22nd of April? Because on this day it is Earth Day, or International Mother Earth Day, observed on 22nd of April. Right. Then the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, that is GC Murmu, he has been elected as external auditor by APWC for a duration of 3 years. Now, what does OPWC stand for? That is Organization for Prohibition of Chemical Weapons. That is OPCW, which is observed. He has been appointed again for a duration of 3 years. Comptroller and Auditor General of India is appointed under Article 148 of the Constitution of India. OPCW headquarters, if we talk about, that is in The Hague, which is in Netherlands. Right? Right. Then we have RBI, which has allowed commercial banks to pay up to 50% of pre-COVID dividends on equity shares. So this has been approved recently, and 50% is the maximum which can be paid in respect to the pre-COVID dividends that were there. SBI research project has expected India's GDP growth rate for financial year 22, and the forecast remains at 10.4%, whereas INDRA projects claims India's GDP forecast expected growth rate at 10.1% for financial year 22. Then we have a Varun exercise. Varun exercise was recently held, 19th edition was held. It is held between India and France. It is between India and France that we have this exercise. It is a naval exercise, and the venue of exercise was Arabian Sea. India and France organized it. It is 19th edition. It is a naval exercise, and this year it was held in Arabian Sea. Then we have N.V. Ramana, or Nathupalli Venkata Ramana. He has taken over as the 48th Chief Justice of India. The oath ceremony was governed by the President of India, and it is Chief Justice of India's appointment is done by the oath ceremony is governed by the President of India. Then we have International Delegates Day, which is observed on 25th of April, and Vivad Se Vishwas scheme has been extended for the 4th time now, and the new deadline is 30th of June. Now, this is a scheme which looks about all the disputed tax-related issues for that particular thing, or resolving them on a quick or fast-track manner. Vivad Se Vishwas scheme was launched by Ministry of Finance. Now, with this, we'll be winding up this segment. I hope this session has been helpful for all of you. We'll see you in the next video with more such news events and more important pointers for all of you. Until then, goodbye, take care, and have a wonderful day ahead.